I would normally say good morning and welcome into NFL Daily, but it is not a good morning for the Jets fans, and Aaron Rodgers. Rodgers did indeed suffer a torn Achilles in Week 1 against the Buffalo Bills. His season is now over, and at his age, with the recovery timeline for a player of Rodgers' age, his career might very well be over as well. The Jets are in trouble at quarterback. They will owe a 2024 second-round pick to the Green Bay Packers. The Rodgers will, of course, not remotely hit his playing time incentives to make it a first-round selection. So it's going to be a second-rounder, which could impact the replacements we'll get into here for Aaron Rodgers. In the immediate future, at least for Week 2, this is going to be Zach Wilson, which I think is worrisome. So the Jets have put out it's Zach Wilson's team. It's Zach Wilson's team. Is it really? Or is that we can't look desperate when we start talking trades here? Wilson is going to be quarterback one for the Jets. Tim Boyle will probably be, if not an active roster addition. You get 3 weeks of him being your practice squad call-up. So they'll probably continue to do that. Rodgers will eventually go on IR as well. The Jets did win against the Bills. I will give them all the credit in the world for making that happen. But I don't think Wilson's performance of 14 of 21 for 140 yards, a TD, and INT, after what we saw last year, where he continued to struggle, he's seeing ghosts at times, bad decisions, bad throws. I don't think there's enough to truly feel confident in what Zach Wilson is bringing to the Jets in 2023 for a team that, outside of quarterback, is a legitimate Super Bowl contender. So be honest with me. Do the Jets need to get a new starting QB? Why for yes and for no? Go vote in the comments. First up on the list, and I think this really just might be the best idea that is out there right now, Jameis Winston. He's Winston. We know he's inconsistent, but he's a backup in New Orleans. He would be the best starting option that the Saints have out there. Or the Jets have out there. Go get Jameis Winston. They're probably at least a playoff team with Winston. This team is built to win now. See if you can get lucky, and maybe Winston can live to that number one overall pick buzz or hype. Ryan Tannehill is worth mentioning as a veteran option, although he looked really bad in Week 1, and maybe isn't your answer. There's a lot of money that Ryan Tannehill is owed, by the way, his contract, and we'll mention it a couple times on that front, but I think Tannehill is the one that's really worth mentioning here. Winston's relatively cheap. It's doable. Ryan Tannehill has a $27 million base salary. The Jets cannot absorb that right now. The Titans have to eat it or do something, take a pay cut. That's a big complication, any potential trade for Ryan Tannehill. So the pinned comment on today's show: who should the Jets add at quarterback? Go vote, especially if the ad comes here on YouTube. Teddy Bridgewater is next up on our list, and he is now a member of the Detroit Lions after spending last year with the Miami Dolphins. Bridgewater was available for a while. He doesn't really inspire much confidence, if I'm being honest. Frankly, a lot of these guys don't inspire confidence. Mitchell Trubisky is on this list. Again, you're outside of like maybe Winston and maybe Tannehill in terms of the trade market, you're kind of looking for a better bus driver who can lean on a very potent ground game and a defense that might very well be top 5 this season. Marcus Mariota, I think the Eagles fans would love to get rid of him. He did not look very good in the preseason. Mariota got benched in Atlanta, and I still think quit on his team. But he is a notable veteran. Fitting that we have Winston and Mariota on this list for different teams because, oh, how times have changed since that draft class. Davis Mills, Houston Texans QB. It's actually worth at least considering. It would be a better supporting cast in New York than Mills has ever had in Houston, although I feel like you're just kind of doing half of Zach Wilson and then half of Davis Mills, 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. Like, it's kind of the same. Another former bus-driving quarterback, Andy Dalton, now with the Carolina Panthers. I know that's an insult, but like all you need right now in New York. Dalton, though, has not been the same guy since he left Cincinnati. The play has very much begun to decline. Now, you can bet on everything you could ever want to, really, with BetUS. Chatsports.com/bet. Promo code NFL Daily for 125% deposit bonus. That's chatsports.com/bet. Promo code NFL Daily. Put down $100 minimum. They will give you a 125% deposit bonus. There are already plenty of next quarterback odds out there for the New York Football Jets. And you got Nick Foles, Jameis Winston. We'll talk free agents later on. You'll see Colt McCoy. You'll see Foles. You'll see Carson Wentz, etc. Taysom Hill being on there is stupid, by the way. He's not a quarterback. He is a tight end. You do not want Taysom Hill if you're the Jets. Trust me on that. Trust me on that one. All right, other replacements here. Case Keenum, who you saw was number 10 on those odds, by the way, down in Houston. I mean, you know, you have options at this stage. You have the potentiality of trading one of those guys. The Texans need 3 QBs. They need Stroud and Mills and Keenum. One of them might be enough to get the Jets backdoored into the postseason. How about Malik Willis in Tennessee? He looked much better in the preseason, and Tennessee has invested a lot in Will Levis. They traded up to get him in the second round. Cooper Rush is the ultimate bus-driving quarterback. He won 5 games last year with what would be a similar thing for the Jets. Fantastic defense and a solid ground game. Now, Cooper Rush also had a very high turnover-worthy play rate that they kind of got lucky, the Cowboys did, but yeah, we saw him play terrible against the Eagles. He's not going to be enough to get you in the postseason and make a deep run, but it might be enough to get you in the postseason, but I don't think the NFL likes Cooper Rush that much. That's why he signed for so little. Taylor Heinicke, actually, I don't hate that idea for the Jets. Like, Heinicke, it's the Heinicke magic of like, this doesn't make sense. How is he getting away with all this crap? And he always finds a way to do it. The issue there for the Falcons and some of these teams facing a similar issue, do you want Logan Woodside as your backup? Maybe. I don't know. I know we will see plenty of Gardner Minshew buzz. Now, I will say, I think Gardner Minshew is very overrated. The people who think he's a starting caliber quarterback, I don't believe that he is. But you are the Jets. You are desperate. Minshew Mania in New York sounds electric. That's probably one of my top 5 favorite trade options for the Jets. Now, I know we are going to get, I'm not talking about you guys, but social media in general, right? We are going to get so many bad Jets trade ideas for quarterbacks. Not going to body them because they deleted the tweet. They realized it because I tweeted out about it. Someone was like, how about a second for Cooper Rush? Like, no, the Jets aren't doing that. Plus, they can't trade their second or their first with the conditions on the trade, but might end up being a second in the end. So they could trade their first. They're not going to do that, right? Put your Jets trade ideas in the comments section. Try to make them good, but have some fun as well. The Jets have a chance to do several very funny things at quarterback. First up, just bring back Mike White. Dolphins, I don't think the Dolphins are not going to help the Jets, though. That's a big factor. So unlikely, but it would be funny. The funniest trade thing the New York Jets could do right now is bring back Sam Darnold. Jets fans, I feel bad for you guys. I had to include it. They're not going to do it, and nor should they. It would be very funny. Jacoby Brissett, if the Commanders are just going to ride with Sam Howell and then figure out a new backup QB, which they don't have on the active roster, at this point they have Jake Fromm on the practice squad. Jacoby Brissett, actually, I think would be a really good option there for the Jets. Like I think Brissett is one of, if not the best backup QBs in the NFL. He could get the Jets to the postseason with the way, or I think he could at least, in a tough AFC, as good as that supporting cast is. Now, if you guys want more free news, then subscribe. We'll have power rankings later on in the day. We actually filmed it earlier this morning and then changed our game plan, but it'll go out later. Still planning on NFL Live as well, so make sure you are subscribed, youtube.com/chatsportstv. The funniest thing the Jets could do is to go out and sign Tom Brady. Could you imagine 1 week after Brady gets, does his ceremony in New England, going to go in the Ring of Honor next year, and then goes, I'm going to play for the Jets. Now, I think Brady would have concerns about, do you want to play behind that Jets offensive line? I kind of don't think so. I don't think that's a great outcome for the New York Jets, but it'd be pretty funny there. So will Tom Brady ever play again in the NFL? Y for yes, N for no. Phillip Rivers He allegedly was going to play for the Niners, maybe not. Again, the issue with these older guys, despite once being franchise guys, they don't have the same level of impact that they once did. He can't move either, which is concerning. Matt Ryan, he is a statue back there in the pocket, but he hasn't, I don't think, officially retired. That one actually could be viable for the Jets. And of the free agent options, it's about to get real ugly. Carson Wentz. Oh my God, he's not good. I don't. There would be so many just like disastrous moments for Wentz under pressure. I honestly might rather just ride with Zach Wilson. Colt McCoy is available though. He's a free agent option. Cardinals cut him. I don't think McCoy has much left in the tank, but it's at least worth mentioning. Joe Flacco, the former Jets quarterback, actually might make the most sense. Of just being able to plug in basically right away. The offense shouldn't be that different. I know it changed with Daniel Hackett in there. I don't think he's a good play caller, but Flacco at least is worth discussing. Nick Foles was the betting favorite. He's a free agent. Big, you know what, Nick has talent, but I'm also not convinced he's a good option. And I think, unless you get lucky, or it's the one magical year in Philadelphia, he has not been a very good quarterback. And I do want to rant here. Colin Kaepernick. This was floated out there by certain members of media. Kaepernick got blackballed by the NFL. He got screwed. I have no doubts about that. But you have to be realistic here. The man has not played football in a long time. He is old. It doesn't make any lick of sense for the Jets at all. We'll be live later today with NFL Daily. Hope you guys enjoyed our Aaron Rodgers replacement, since he is now officially out for the year with a torn Achilles.